All right, this should be good. This should be really good. All right. Please? There we go. Oh my god, we got the full 300. We did it. Hey, what's up everybody? So last week on stream, we were doing a bunch of challenges and I kind of had to gear up and do one of the specific challenges here, the 200 plus Simulacrum splinters from a single Delirium mirror. Not from a Delirious map, but it has to be from a mirror specifically. We're doing that on stream, and in fact, I was actually doing carries for other people as well, which is a fun thing that we like to do on stream, is help people out and help them get their challenges done for certain things that might be very difficult for them. A number of people were asking me what my configuration was and my setup and everything, and I just wanted to go over this very specifically. So I do want to start off and say this is not absolutely a perfect strategy. There are alternatives. There are some other ways, and I might mention one or two here or there as we go over this, but this is how I did it. I think we ran like 6, 7, 8 maps in a row, and every single time I hit over 200 splinters, and in fact I hit, very close to 300 or exactly 300, a full Simulacrum a couple of times. You do need a pretty strong build to do this. So if you have a little bit of a weaker or slower build, this just might be out of your reach and you may need to buy a carry. So the key here is you need to have a Delirium mirror on your map. You need a map that is conducive to running Delirium, right? The way that Delirium works is it expands like a donut outside of the mirror, right? So you hit the mirror and think of it at like a donut, right? So it has like a band that's expanding that fog. And so, you can go too far back or you can actually go too far forward and actually go too fast. So you have to be within that band. So you always have to be paying attention to the direction that the fog is going and whether you're still in it. And very specifically, we are very lucky this league, at least what I know of to be the very best map for farming splinters, we have Tropical Island. This little map right here. Why is Tropical Island so good? Because it's laid out in basically a straight line, and your character will teleport forward pretty significantly as you're going, as you go into the caves, and then as you go out of the caves onto the second island. And that will actually push your character forward such that you're able to get a lot of distance. You actually get more splinters and more rewards the further you are away from the mirror. Not to mention that it's a very, very easy layout and it has really good density as well. The more monsters you kill, the further away from the mirror, the more rewards that you get. So we're gonna go to the Atlas tree that I used when I did this. I specifically didn't take every single possible point here. There is some wiggle room. You could add some other content that you might wanna do, but especially if you are primarily just focused on getting this challenge done, this is kind of the foundation of what I did. And, feel free to manipulate it a little bit differently if you want. The key is kill as many monsters as possible. How do we do that? So the number one most important thing here is we need to take all of these Delirium nodes right here. So all of these say increase stack size of splinters. We get more bosses, which will also give us splinters. And we want the Delirium to be stronger and slower as well. So the higher the Delirium, the more rewards that you get. And so the way that Descent into Madness works is basically, usually you can think of like your 0% Delirious at the beginning, like 1% when you first hit the mirror. And then at the very end, you'll hit 100% Delirious at the map boss. And you can think of it as like scaling linearly as you're going through the map. Descent into Madness accelerates that greatly. The more Delirious you are, obviously it's going to be harder to kill the monsters. So like I said, you're going to want a strongish build. But the more Delirious the monsters are, the more rewards that you get, and the more splinters you're going to get from that. And then all of these small nodes here increase stack size of splinters. This is the big reason why, we want to take these nodes. In addition to that, I want to take all of the Beyond nodes, right? Beyond will spawn out of the monsters, basically just straight up more more monsters that we're going to kill. We don't want to take these Beyond nodes. We don't really care about the drops from them. Feel free to take those if you want a little bit more currency from your from your mapping, but those are not necessary for, more rewards. We take Scent of Blood and we take all of the Torn Veil nodes here just for more Beyond monsters. In addition to that, we want to grab Flash Breach. We're going to be using breaches as much as possible. 30% increased monster density, and it's faster. So, time is a thing. We're on a timer during Delirium, so that's just really, really nice. If you really want to, I chose the Eater of Worlds guys. I find it a little bit less rippy, but if you want to, you can take the Searing Exarch guys as well. It doesn't matter which side you take, but you do want all of these pack size notables here. So that's why I took these. And then I just like Shadow of Hunger for more altars versus Light of Dawn, which you're just not going to get as many altars. I'm a big fan of the shrine nodes, especially the double value shrines lasting longer, basically a baby headhunter for your build. makes it much, much stronger. And especially with Drawn to Power here, you'll get magic monsters. Magic monsters will really push the rewards of Delirium up really quickly. You know, I find the value of both making your character stronger and just tons and tons of density. That's why I went for the shrine stuff. In addition, I went for all that glitters. These are, you know, you don't have to take this, but getting a little bit more quant on your map as well is pretty nice. And then we went for Harbinger. Harbies are just free quant, good, easy to kill monsters. I like those. They're just kind of freebies. The other big key thing here is Abyss. It might be the worst content in the game. I'm not a big fan of Abyss where it stands in the game right now. However, for just killing raw number of monsters, Abyss is up there, man. So the big key with Abyss is we get 100% increased monsters here, and then another 30% right here. We don't even need Underground Kingdom because we're going to be using a Scarab. So 130% increased monsters in those Abysses. Not to mention that Abyss Scarabs actually also have increased monsters. With all of this together, Abysses are literally hundreds of monsters each. You just can't pass up Abyss for a number of monsters that you're going to kill. I took Spoils Award. This is very, very optional. You get 3 rare monsters that are duplicated. And, you know, why not for one more point, you get some basic currency drops. I wouldn't be surprised that if I've gotten a number of exalts just from this node itself. And then last up is we're using Alva. It is some of the highest quant that you can get, and especially for a master on your map, it is the highest quant that you can get. You know, it's going to be way more than Nico or Einhar, right? Not to mention is you can have 33% of the chance for them to be magic monsters, which is obviously huge. And then you can get 15% increased pack size with these 3 nodes right here. You can have a ton of magic monsters in your Alva incursions, which is going to push up your quantity. And then if you care about the result of your temples for selling them off for profit, definitely take contested development and resource reallocation. But I'm just kind of showing the necessary nodes here. You know, anything, if you're asking like, hey, is this good or is that good in addition? The answer is probably yes, but I'm just showing like the core of the strategy here. And then we have the hat. You might be saying to yourself, yo, subtract them. Your tree looks stupid. It looks really stupid and inefficient. Why not just take these nodes right here or these nodes right here and connect your left and right sides? Ah, contraire, my friend. These nodes are actually really, really good. This was discovered by the juicers in the previous league when this Atlas tree was first added to the game, but each one of these nodes is actually incredibly valuable. 2% increased effect of modifiers on your non-unique maps, and there are 15 of those for a total of 30% increased effect of modifiers on your non-unique maps. What does that mean? So if you don't know how your map and map rolling works, is each modifier will actually give bonus to your quantity, rarity, and pack size. And you can basically take all of that and multiply it times 1.3 for how much it's going to actually be giving you when you open the map. So for a demonstration, right, we see 64% quantity. We also see monsters have 30% to avoid elemental ailments. Let's see what that looks like if we go inside of a map. If we take a look at this, you know, and you can see that some things kind of rounded up. The decimal was hidden there. So it was probably like 30.3% chance to avoid elemental ailments. That is now 34% to avoid elemental ailments. But also look at this. The quantity went up by 30% to 90% quant, 52% rarity, and now 27% pack size. And so that's what the hat does. If I'm doing like a very farming oriented strategy, the hat is basically mandatory for me if I'm going to do like a hardcore mapping strategy. That's the core of the Atlas tree here. Harbinger, Shrines, Breach, Abyss, Beyond. We're going to be going for double Beyond on our maps. The Delirium nodes, of course, Alva, and the hat. And all of those things together will push the number of monsters and quantity of drops on the map as high as possible. And then to roll the map, remember we are doing Delirium Mirror, so it's not going to be a delirious map. Make sure it's not enchanted. Just chisel. What I do is down here, I type Beyond. I am looking specifically only for Beyond. Obviously, as many modifiers as possible would be great. But since we're doing a double Beyond strategy, just as many monsters as we can get, that's really the core of what I'm doing. Elk, and then I just right-click my Chaos Orbs, and okay, sometimes we get lucky. First Chaos Orb, we just click that until we get Beyond on the map. We want just like a Beyond map, ideally as much quant, as much pack size specifically for more monsters as possible. And then my recommendation here is we use a Blight Scarab. If you stay close to the Blight, you know, on the lanes, and as you do it, it will pause the Delirium Fog. Blight doesn't give you a ton of rewards, but since it pauses the fog, it gives you a little bit of a breathing room. You can kind of kill the monsters around it. It can be a nice little, you know, relaxation point. It does progress at a moderate amount. In addition to that, I used Gilded Harbinger, and also for the Harby, Breach, and Abyss, you can go to Winged if you want to, but it dramatically increases the price. and I was getting 300 splinters on just Gilded, so I found that not necessary. Gilded Harby, you know, we do like those Harbies. They are really good quant. Breaches and Abyss. Specifically Abyss, like if I were going to use one winged Scarab, I would go for a winged Abyss. That will push the number of monsters even higher, and that's gonna be the easiest way to hit 300 splinters. And then since we just want to get those 200 splinters, this is not the ideal probably for pure profit, is I just put Delirium on the map device. This also just makes it easier. If you are doing Harvest, you can get free map device crafts, and so you can actually get these for free. You see I have a couple of these still remaining. Harvest can just give you this craft for free, you know, sacrifice a map, get a free craft device, so this doesn't have to cost you 16 chaos every time. Make sure you choose the Searing Exarch or Eater of Worlds for the one that you have the pack size nodes for, and then we are going to be doing Alva specifically. Make sure you have an Alva mission, and then make sure that Alva will actually appear in your map. You know, we are investing up to like 50 chaos into this strategy, right, per map. So we want to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. My recommendation would be make a checklist. Make sure that Alva is ready. Make sure that you got your Scarabs in there. Make sure you got Beyond rolled on your map. And make sure that you clicked on Delirium. And make sure that you clicked on the Eater of Worlds. Oh, another thing. Look at this. I almost made a mistake as I was recording the video. This is how tedious it can be. So like I said, make a checklist. You want to do Sextants. Now, I didn't hard roll for anything. You're basically just going to be looking for quant, right? You want more monsters. What I initially do is I just click on all 4 void stones, and then I take a look at what I got. 6 packs of physical monsters. We got non-unique heist contracts that have additional implicit. We don't care about that. An additional breach isn't bad. We don't mind that. And then lightning monsters. Okay, if you get a sextant that you don't want to run and maybe you can sell, use a surveyor's compass, pull that puppy off, and now it's opened up. You pulled it off, and then you can sell this item as well if it's a really good one. And then we roll again. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So that's worth about 30 chaos. So that's a good demonstration. Guaranteed Sacred Grove right there. Roll more. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So we got fizz damage, lightning damage, fire damage, and additional breach. That's good enough. Other thing that I did roll for was shrines. Specifically the Gloom Shrine. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chris Wilson. This is perfect. The Gloom Shrine specifically gives you Profane Bloom. I actually believe it gives you a 100% chance for Profane Bloom. It's stronger than the Occultist Ascendancy, and it can go a long way to making your character much better at clearing the map. And specifically, since we took all the shrine nodes, this will last nearly 2 minutes on your character, and that will just go a long way to really allowing you to clear the map much quicker. So this would be a perfect setup for me. I would be very, very happy with this. And then with all of those things combined, just make sure that your character is good enough at clearing those maps. With the Gloom Shrine, that should help a lot. And then you can complete your challenge. This could even be a currency making strategy for you if you're interested. So yeah, just a little quick guide today for people that may be struggling with this challenge, or if you just want to get into Delirium mirror farming, this is a good way to get started. Anyway, I got to go get ready for the stream. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.